brand new edition of The Quinn Spinn. I'm your host, Quinn. At least that's how I'm known here on the program, and at this point, after 12 years, literally nowhere else. And I'm back here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more for another rousing and riveting installment of the official podcast of Underground Music Collective. You just heard Revel 9's All I've Become at the top of the show. That's been our opening theme song here at the Quinn Spinn since the great year of 2014, and it will be until the very end of days. And you'll notice I'm wearing the same shirt. That's either because I haven't changed in a week, or we've recorded these episodes in the same sitting. And I'm joined not by Kelsey Muse, but by Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess here a week later, or is it just 15 minutes later? You be the judge. Jazzy, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. That was an amazing intro.
What a start.
Very, very engaging.
Thank you. I try. It's been 12 years of getting it just right, Just like Nana making the perfect sauce, the perfect tomato sauce back in, I'm from Jersey. There's some Italian in there, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to ask you the three standard questions. Right. Those three questions are, who are you? What are your passions, and why on earth would you want to come on the Quinn Spinn, especially with me acting like this?
I am Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess. I'm a poet, writer, mindset coach, just all around creative. Mm-hmm. And I am passionate about people. I'm passionate about making connections, and I am passionate about music. Mm-hmm. And why would I come on here? Actually, I am here because a good friend of mine named Gerard Longo, he's amazing, and I wanted to share this space with him.
Why, thank you. I'll let him know.
Thanks.
Appreciate you being here, Jazzy. And you're doing so much here in the community, and really more and more finding your voice as a creative in this space too. Jazzy, of course, is an underdog as well. Yes, one of our lead underdogs, as a matter of fact. We both got our matching underdog tags that say
every day.
Me too. Creators have the power.
And we do.
Yes, we do. And we have the power to tell you all what Jazzy's been up to. And we can go all the way back to the beginning if you want. And let's start by going back and talking about some of the places, people, experiences, of course, artists that influenced you and got you started and moving on your creative path.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to go back to 2009. Mm-hmm. So I've been writing poetry since I was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. Always been too afraid to share it in public, to speak in public. I was completely terrified. But in 2009, I was dared to do an open mic at an event. Mm-hmm. I was tipsy, so I'm sure
that's all good stories.
That was a factor. No, that was a factor. That was a factor. I got dared to do an open mic. It was through a music organization, which they're still around now. It's called Sound Therapy. Okay. It's a combination of DJs, singers, hip-hop artists. It was primarily hip-hop artists. So my friend was like, hey, get in, an open mic. I'm like, I don't rap. He was like, no, but you could do one of your poems. So I actually done a poem that I had wrote 10 years prior. Mm-hmm. And the response from the audience completely blew my mind. Like, they were completely blown. So I was completely blown. And from that point, the organization was like, hey, can you be our house poet? And I did that for 2 years. So every Friday, I opened up the show for the other artists. And that's how I got my start. And that's how I started to build my muscle, my poetry muscle. And I made it a point to have my poems memorized before I presented them because to me, that was showing my professionalism. But I will give her credit to one particular poet, Rashad the Poet. He's one of the first spoken word artists that I've seen, and I was so mesmerized and captivated by him. And I was like, any tips? And he was like, no, you already have it. So from there, I just started.
And you do have it. You do have it. And coming from Rashad, too, that's a really important name in the spoken word community.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, you do have it. And, of course, we've seen you perform. You just did an Underdogs Across Borders performance with us not too long ago. Amazing. And you just speak from the soul, and you make no apologies about who you are, where you've been, and you roll your life experience into your work.
Yes.
And why is that important to you? To show up so fearlessly and so authentically and to give people these windows into who you are?
I really feel like I believe in the power of oneness. So I really feel like our stories aren't too far from each other. So if I'm going through something, chances are someone else has gone through it or someone that knows someone has gone through it. So if I'm speaking my truth, I'm letting people know like, okay, things do happen. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the internet.
Yes. Okay. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Like life is full of a whole bunch of bullshit. So if I'm going through bullshit, but I'm okay. Like I've made it to the other side, then I feel like it's important for me to speak my truth, to say these are the things that I went through.
Yeah.
However, there is opportunities to get past it. So, I don't ever want to feel like I'm sugarcoating anything that I've been through, because I'm doing a disservice not only to myself, but to those who I can assist in their own healing.
And I think as artists, like, that's our responsibility.
Yes.
Not that I'm actively a performing artist in any way, at least not in the musical sense, but like, it's our responsibility to communicate what we've learned and what we've been through, and use it as a roadmap and a blueprint to help somebody going through something similar maneuver their journey. There's a line in a Macklemore song, Make the Money, and I record it and hope it helps you maneuvering through yours. And I always come back to that, even like with this show, because first of all, that album was like brand new and out when we started the show. So I always connect the Quinn Spinn to that album. But also, like, I have tried, I've struggled to lean into that myself, like on the more like real moments on this show where it's like I'm just talking about something that's going on. It's like, well, it's a responsibility that we have, right? To like take our experience and not leave somebody on the other end hanging, because they might need that message. Right. And I think we get so afraid too of judgment, of, somebody hearing a part of our story and not liking it, or, making assumptions about us. Ooh. And there's a certain like level of like, you have to just stop giving a fuck, you just have to get past it. Yeah. And it's easier said than done though. So how have you gotten past that, and how have you leaned more into who you are as time has gone on?
It's interesting because some of my poems are personal stories and some of them are other people's stories. And I don't know, I want to share this real quick. When you said judging, so I have a particular poem that I no longer perform. It's called Hey Lover, and it's actually talking about a couple that was in a relationship, but they had people at home. It was like... And it's not my story at all. It's not my story at all. Just for clarification, it's not my story at all. But when I used to do that particular poem, people would give me the oddest looks. But like, that's some real life shit that go on all the time. And singers sing about it. And people, we sing those songs. But when I did it in a poem form, I got just the weirdest, to the point where I had to say like, hey, this is just life. It's not my personal story. But I mean, it is life. It does happen. I think just fine-tuning my audience to get past that point, to say, hey, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is just a form, an art form. This is an art form. Yeah. So I think it's really just that simple. I don't care. And I feel like whomever is supposed to receive it, or whoever it's relevant for, is relevant for, and everyone else, it really doesn't matter, because everybody may not be my audience.
Right. Exactly. And not everybody is your audience. Right. But the people who are really going to gravitate to the essence of who you are.
Yes.
And, really coming to that place where you're comfortable with that, and also comfortable with people not being down with it. Like, that's just as important. Once you really have that identified, like in terms of who your audience is and what they value, which, spoilers, it's always going to be similar to what you value. Right. Then you can really lean into that and serve those people. And in the process, like, you're giving yourself this service too. Even though these are stories about other people, like, you're allowing yourself to, in some cases like that one, right? Like, you're allowing yourself to put yourself in their shoes and relate to them, and maybe even heal something like about yourself in the process of that, or like answer some important questions. And that's just the power of art, regardless of medium, whether it's spoken word, music, film, visual art, right? It helps us interpret the world around us, so we show up to it with a better understanding.
Right. And it still allowed me to be creative, because I do have that ability. Like, you could tell me something about you and I can literally go home tonight and write a poem about it. I'm able to be so empathic to where I can connect to someone else's story to write about it. So it still allows me to, tap into my full essence of creativity, whether it's about me or someone else. So,
what has that process taught you about how to show up in the world?
To be empathetic, like to make sure that I'm maintaining connections, that I'm hearing people, that even though to be non-judgmental, have taught me that as well. To just really listen and hear someone, because we all want to be seen and heard. So just providing safe space for people that, we all go through life.
And I think there are more open conversations about that now, certainly in the artistic space, certainly as technology and AI kind of gets its hold on things, that people are seeking that connection. They're seeking that authenticity and that understanding of what still makes us human, despite everything. I'm not knocking AI. I'm not knocking any of the tools at our disposal. I think it's the best time ever to be a creative, because you have these tools that you can use to connect you to other people, right? And to do some of the administrative clerical work, like your email marketing that you don't want to do, right? But the essence of creativity, comes from us. It comes from the human experience and from the soul. And I feel like as we go more into this technological era, we're also going to continue to return to that more and more, because people, I think, are really waking up to how much they need that.
I'm still kind of torn with the AI.
Me too.
It's just, I know, because I'm such a highly creative person, but, a lot of people keep telling me, just find your use in it. So I hadn't got to that space where I can really figure out how to utilize it and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on the fence with that.
Yeah, I am too, just because, I don't want it writing anything for me. I'm a writer by trade. I don't need it. I don't need that to do that part of it. I love writing. Yeah. It's what brought me to the dance, Same thing, if I ever release some music, I'm not going to release AI-generated music.
Right.
My book's not AI. I wrote every word of that thing, But, I have no problem having it set up my email automations. I have no problem,
I can get that.
Using it for clerical things, but it's just, I feel like creativity is within us, and you can prompt AI to create something, but it's not going to create something like you would create something. Right. I'm going to reference another song that I love. It's "If You Believe" by Our Lady Peace. It's off their Spiritual Machines record from 2000, which, interestingly enough, was a concept album around the age of spiritual machines, the book by Ray Kurzweil. And the song "If You Believe" is a response and even a critique to the idea that AI and technology was eventually going to take things over. And by the way, in that book, 86% of Kurzweil's predictions were correct.
That's correct.
They did a follow-up album in 2022, and by then, 86% were correct. But the point of that song, "If You Believe," the message behind it is there's something that these machines don't have and never will, because we've got it.
Right.
And it can't be replicated no matter how sophisticated they get.
Right.
And so, message to all of you out there, keep creating, because there'll always be a place.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about what you're creating right now. What's going on in the world of Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess?
Oh, the world. So I just finished creating Innerstanding, which is my long-awaited EP with producer Queen of Vibes.
Which, by the way, Queen of Vibes is the correct name.
Yes, she's definitely a vibe.
Because she performed with you over here, and it just the sound textures and everything she created with you, it just takes you to a different place. But I'll let you tell us more about it.
I'm gonna tell you all a secret on that. I'm gonna tell you a secret on that. We had one 30-minute rehearsal over Zoom prior to that. Because how my life has been recently lifing, I was not in a good headspace I was all over the place. We had one. So she was like, either it's going to be great or it's not going to be great.
Right.
But I told her I'm very confident in us both as creatives to just vibe. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought we did amazing.
Yeah. It started the night off and it set the tone wonderfully.
Thank you.
It was a great night.
Thank you.
So the EP's out now?
It is. And I have to check on something. For some reason, it's not showing up on Spotify, but it is on Apple Music. We've been sending out the YouTube link, and it's on other streaming platforms. But yeah, so it's called Innerstanding. And it literally takes you on a journey. I didn't do all of the songs, maybe 4 of them that I did. It's all from there. So my goal is to take you all on a journey again in the power of oneness and the power of likeness. We all are on our own journey. So just how I became Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess, but how did that start? Like I had to take you all back to, the low self-esteem, the imperfection. There's a song on the EP called Love Anonymous, and it talks about heartbreak, and that I'm such a lover, but heartbreak is a huge part of my story, like relationships going wrong and me investing all of my love not to get that in return, which created, the low self-esteem, well, added to it, I'll say, not created. I already had it. That's why I was able to kind of get into these bad situations. But yeah, just going through the whole process, and then just me elevating and going on my own self-healing. That's what I did, doing my own shadow work to become Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess. So I think a lot of people can relate to that in some kind of form.
How important is doing the work?
It's impossible. If you want to become a better version of yourself, you have to do the work. If you don't want to do the work, then it's not even no point to play around with yourself like that.
Right.
It's no point.
Because if you don't do the work, you're just going to keep repeating the same lessons.
And
they're going to show up in different situations.
And they might even get worse.
Yeah, the whispers turn to screams after a while. Like you always, like it's a healthy thing to like look in the mirror and understand, like without beating yourself up too much. Like the pendulum can swing the other way, right? To where you're too hard on yourself and frankly not hard enough on the other person. Like you got to find a balance, right? Of like, okay, like, I got, this feedback, what is true about this for me,
What is true?
And how do I show up in a way to where I'm able to be better from it. I'm able to come from a more informed, a more enriched, and more emotionally grounded and mature place. But it takes that look inside to be like, okay, this is the situation that happened. This is, the thing about their behavior that I wish would have been different, dealing with interpersonal things. But also, here's how I could have been different here.
Absolutely.
Either, I could have reacted better, or maybe here's what I could have done in the first place to prevent the situation from happening. Because there's a lot of that, too, along life's journey.
A lot of that. A lot of that. And it's always about what is the lesson. So the outro of it, I was going to do a whole poem called Innerstanding, but the outro is literally just me talking. And I talk about, childhood, me feeling different from my siblings, and, me being in abusive relationships, and me getting to the point where I had to just ask myself questions that, like you were just saying, that accountability, like, what could I have done different? What did I do? Like, how, just replaying the scenario. So the outro is just me taking a deep dive and then asking questions like, you in the situation, you didn't deserve it, so why did you accept it? And then that just took me down a deeper rabbit hole into my childhood to start looking at patterns, from my parents and family history, different things like that. So if you don't do the work, like if you complacent and just being, I don't even know the word for it. If you just want to be just
insulated from any discomfort whatsoever. Like I think there's an important point here. Like you can't change without getting uncomfortable, right?
True.
You can't grow without being uncomfortable. And like if you're just going to protect yourself from that discomfort and that judgment, then your life's not going to be very spectacular because you won't have a chance to really grow into the person that you are. And there's always going to be chaos swirling around you. We're seeing it in the world, of course, in a number of different ways. We see it in our own personal life. Like life tends to life once in a while. And it's in those moments that you come back to yourself and again, like assess what's true for you and assess how the best version of you is going to show up and go forward from here. Yeah. For me, like this year, it's been, my tagline has been elevate your frame, because the end of last year, we were talking a little bit offline, like there's some things happened that, I didn't particularly care for or like in my personal life. And I had a choice. I could, give those things power.
Right.
And into the beginning of this year as well, I could give those things power, or I could focus on the best of what I have coming up, which at the time was finishing the book, getting ready for South by, and everything that's come since, right? Like we've built this amazing community. There are opportunities left and right all over the place for UMC. And I will tell you right now, it is a direct result of me making that choice December, January. Like I'm not focusing on that.
Right.
I'm focusing on this. And whoever's going to feel a certain type of way about it, they're going to feel that way, regardless, right? But I know what I need to do for the good of me and for the good of those around me, and it's to just lean into the best of myself and to live with the discomfort of, okay, that didn't work out. And that's fine, because look at everything that's going to and has. And I think when you really focus inward like that, like there's such power to that. You're not letting the external dictate your mood, your response, your reactions as much, you know, how you feel about yourself as much. Like, you know, at the end of the day, where you stand, who you are, what you're here to do, where you're going.
Absolutely.
And if nothing can pull you off that, success is not only inevitable, like it's already here.
And that is the path that I'm on. So speaking of discomfort, me leaving Tennessee for 2 years, it was so uncomfortable, but I needed that. That's the best thing I could have ever done for myself. I was on my own. I had no cushion. I had no parents. I had no siblings. I had no kids. I had no ex-husband. I was there figuring my shit out. And that's the best thing I could ever done.
When all you've got is you find a way to show up.
Yeah, you do.
Because there's nobody else to blame. There's nobody else to blame if it doesn't work out. So you're going to make sure that it does work out in those situations.
I spent a lot of time in silence, like a lot of time in silence. A lot of crying, a lot of frustration. But that is the best thing. That discomfort saved me. And so now how you sound like the success, and like it is here. Like I know it is because I put in that work.
Yeah.
So,
and it comes through on Innerstanding and everything to come, which, speaking of everything to come, as 2025 winds down and gives way to 2026, what is coming up in your world?
I actually have already started working on another project. And it is all about love, because I am a lover, and it's all like the highs of love. And I'm working with at least two or three producers on that. I don't know if it's going to be done by the end of the year, but it is already in motion.
All right.
And I still just want to perform wherever I can perform and just be more visible. I'm really ready to start traveling too. So.
The highs of love. I'll have to listen to that to understand what that's even like. Hey now! Anyway, it's been a long time since I've known that.
You know what? And interesting, because all of it is about one person who I have a very platonic relationship with. But the feeling that I have around him prompted, and he knows, I told him when I put it out, I will give him a shout out. He's an artist as well. So just our interaction, and I had told my father, I said, it's very platonic, but it feels so innocent. And my father said, love is supposed to feel innocent. I'm like, and it's giving me, in a sense, like hope to say, okay, it's not with him because this is strictly platonic, but just that feeling that love is possible. I can feel these things. I can look forward to being with someone, or to love someone, or to even say, ooh, I'm excited. I can write poems about this person. So it shifted something for me. So I'll give you a sneak peek.
All right. Looking forward to it. Maybe it'll help me decode some of the trash in my mind right now. Because I have, it were a transparency moment, as you always say.
Yes.
I have very negative stories about romance and love right now in my brain. I am hyper avoidant at this very point in my life. I'm sure I'm making myself out to be such a catch out there to anybody watching, but it's the truth. So yeah, maybe your art will help me start to unravel, or it's been unraveled. Maybe ravel it back up.
Ravel it back up.
Yeah, let's ravel some things back up. You know, it's been unraveled for way too long.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
I'm glad to know that that's on the horizon.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you a deep question.
Okay.
I love asking this question toward the end of the episode because the answers are always very interesting. And not to put you on the spot, but if there's one lesson from the entirety of your creative journey that you would go back and teach the 2009 version of yourself who got on the stage at that open mic, what's the most important lesson you would teach that version of Jazzy?
Go with your gut. Listen to yourself. Because once I really got good and going, transparency moment, which I don't care. My ex-husband, he was my producer at the time, and he got in my ear, and I missed out on a lot of opportunities because long story short, he didn't want me to win. It became that situation. He did not, at the time, I didn't know, of course, he did not want me to win because it was a control issue. But I missed out on a lot of opportunities. Had I just listened to myself, my career would have excelled back then. So moving forward, I'm moving my own. Like, if I want to perform somewhere, I will. If I want to be a part of this, I will. If I'm not feeling it, I won't. It's not just somebody in my ear telling you, don't do this. Oh, this is not a good idea. I wouldn't, if I was you, the manipulation. So I would just go with myself. I will go with what I feel that I want to do.
You are the CEO of your own life.
Yes. Thank you.
Love it. Where can we learn more about you online?
The best place actually is going to be Instagram, which is Goddess Mindset Jazzy. So I actually also post daily videos because I am a mindset coach, with just good inspirational messages. So you can check me out there.
All right, make sure you do, and make sure you check out the Quinn Spinn, 2 N's and Quinn, 2 N's and Spin on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more. Of course, YouTube is the Underground Music Collective channel, which you might be watching this on right now. Also, learn about the show on social media, Quinn Spinn Official on Instagram and the Quinn Spinn on Facebook. That's our original social media handle through all of the UMC ecosystem, by the way. That was the first one, followed by the Twitter handle, which, well, it's now X, and I haven't logged into it in years, but that's fine. UMCWorldwide.com is our central hub at Underground Music Collective for all things independent music, creativity, community, and more. Speaking of community, why don't you become an underdog already, where creators have the power?
We have the power.
On cue. That was beautiful.
Yes.
Join now. Become an underdog. Maybe you might be a Next to Rise artist in 2026, and more doors will open for you, like the doors that we're currently experiencing as this episode is released in New Orleans right now.
Yes.
We are currently, not during this episode, we're not, but when you're watching this, if you're watching it on release day or release week, we are there right now because of this thing that we're doing. So become an underdog. And also, if you want to learn about branding and other educational matters pertaining to the music industry and the creative space, enroll in the UMC Academy. New brand camp's going to be coming soon. And, you never know when we're going to pull up to a conference and give you some learning there. So do all that. Follow Jazzy if you want to follow me for updates on all those things and the occasional fitness thirst trap and Limp Bizkit shitpost. Then at Gerard Longo 12, GERARD LONGO 12, not Gerald. My name is not Gerald. It is Gerard.
Except
That's valid all the time.
That's valid.
Why do you think I chose the Quinn in college? Why do you think it stuck this long? Anyway, Rebel 9's all I become. Gonna take us out like it brought us in. Grab some muffins on the way out.